Hello, welcome to today's marketing session. I know you have been listening in for some time. If you've been following me for a little bit, how passionate and yeah, I think the word is passionate. I am about sharing the importance of building a personal brand as an entrepreneur. So, I get asked all of the time, what are the steps to take me there? How can I get to that point? And what is the point? So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share with you three main steps, stages, levels of building a personal brand. And within those stages, why, and some tips on how to get you there. Okay. So if you are new to Stylishly Branding with Ginna, welcome. If you're new to Hype Media, welcome. We are streaming right now on both pages, but soon I want you to know that if you are following along on the Hype Media page, these Thursday marketing sessions are going to only happen over on the Stylishly Branding with Ginna. So make sure to follow along on that page so that you don't miss out on any of these free marketing sessions that happen on Thursdays at the same time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm so happy that you found me. If you're new, welcome. My name is Ginna Tassinelli. I'm also the owner and creator of both of these pages, both of these brands. Hype Media primarily is what started all of this. So it's a social media marketing agency. We typically, in the beginning at least, worked with small and medium-sized businesses. And now, over some time, I have personally been working more one-on-one with female entrepreneurs in mentoring them through how to build, how to develop, how to refine a personal brand, your tone, your message, and then how to use social media effectively to elevate your brand, to elevate your visibility, and to connect you with the right audience. So, this is a really, really important subject as an entrepreneur, and something that honestly I missed out on when I started my business a little over 12 years ago. And so, what I want to do is I want to skip some of those headaches for you. Okay, so I've definitely learned lots throughout my 12 plus years as an entrepreneur, and the foundations to building a business, a successful long-term business, is building a personal brand. It's not going to be your logo. It's not going to be your website. It's not even going to be what you offer. Okay. It's going to be you. If you hear something that is super helpful, give me the hashtag wow, because that lets me know that something that I said definitely was a nugget for you. And make sure, again, to stay till the end because I've got something special coming up that I would love for you to know about. And don't be shy. Feel free to drop questions while we're on right now. Even if you're watching this on the replay, I will come back and I will check all of them. Okay. So, first, let's talk about why is this so important? Okay. And so you might be thinking, well, I sell a product and I'm making sales and I'm doing great. But here's the thing, long term, with competition, you're not going to stand out if all you're doing is showing your product or something else that I have here. Even let's say jewelry or a service. It's hard to stand out when you're showing up as these things, especially for us entrepreneurs, because the typical entrepreneur, I don't know about you, but myself, I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend to invest on advertising to push my products out there, right? So it's super important in order to stop the scroll, in order to stand out from the competition. It's super important to show up as you, as your brand, because people will want to make that connection with you first. There needs to be that like, know, and trust factor. And these stages that I'm going to tell you about right now take you through that. Okay. So when we are building a personal brand, we're doing that through through developing our brand. Okay. That's stage number one. It's just like building a house. You don't build a house without creating the plans for it, right? You create the drawings for it. Um, so that is going to be step number one. Now, for you as an entrepreneur, as the business owner, this is actually not such a difficult part to building a personal brand because it has to do with you. So what your story is, your experiences, your skills, your likes, your hobbies, your values, your morals, all of that is part of your personal brand. And so when you're thinking about, well, I don't even know how to build a brand. It's one of the questions I get asked all the time. Well, guess what? Look in the mirror because you are the brand. You're already created. Okay. So it takes some digging deep into our core so that we can build that brand tone, that brand message that will align ourselves as a human being with what it is we offer. What are the solutions that we are providing to our ideal human? Or AKA avatar. I like to call them humans because I think we're all humans, not really avatars. Um, so, so that is really the very first stage of building a personal brand is knowing that you are developing that, you are refining it, and it all starts with you. And there's so many aspects to it. There's also so much information out there, and it's very easy to compare yourself to somebody that you may follow that you see has this huge brand, right? Well, what we don't know is how they started. They may have had some great connections before they got started. They most likely have investors that you don't know about that is pushing them out there in a way that makes it seem as if they are better than you. And I will tell you what, nobody is better than nobody else. Everybody has their own uniqueness and their own set of skills. Now, we do get better over time with our own skills, and that just takes, evolving, learning new things, educating yourself, and staying on top of the current trends, the current news within your space. So, for example, myself, I'm always learning something new. I'm in I'm in different masterminds. I watch, I love to learn from other experts in my fields because I don't know everything, and honestly they don't know everything. They're learning also. So I want you to know, it's funny because I was just on a call with a special one-on-one client, and I totally called her out on this because I've been there. But we go through this imposter syndrome, and it's something that is all up here because if you have some knowledge over somebody else, you are an expert. That little piece of information that you can share with somebody to help them better themselves makes you an expert. It makes you have some experience in that. And so it's just a matter of building on that. And also, it's how you put yourself out there, which goes to my step number two. Okay. And that is building a brand that you can monetize. So I am not about the numbers. Numbers don't mean anything. So, however many followers you have, it doesn't mean anything if they're not converting, right? And if they're not converting, it's very likely that they're not converting because you're not showing up as a personal brand. You haven't built that like, know, and trust factor. There's no awareness created, and then after the awareness is when people start to consider why they should work with you, why they should download, that checklist that you have, why they should watch your webinar, why they should get into your email list. And then after they consider working with you, then is when you get them to that consideration stage, then is when they whip out their wallet to want to pay for your products or services, right? So going to be stage number 2 is monetizing your personal brand. And how do you do that? So number 1, you want to provide value. You want to provide value on social media, value in your videos, value in your emails, value in your blogs if you blog. You want to provide value, and by providing value, I mean answering their questions. What is it that your ideal human is struggling with that your brand, your business, your services, your product can solve for them? So it's not so much your product or your service, it's what are those features that solve that for them, and how can you answer that with them? So every time you put out a piece of content, you want to answer questions that your audience or your perfect human is asking. Okay, and that's how you start to build awareness. And once you start to build awareness, then people start to like you, they start to get to know you. And once they start to get to know you, then they will consider working with you. And ways to elevate that consideration stage is by, gaining their attention and giving something back to them, something that's tangible. So that's where lead magnets come into play and that sort of thing. Webinars, these longer trainings that we do, that's where those types of pieces of content can come into play. Once they are aware of you and they're considering to work with you and you have been nurturing them, you continue to show up, right? You are consistent. Then you can move your brand to a place where it's monetizing, because now you have an audience that knows who you are, they like you, and now they are ready to spend money with you because they trust you. And that's where you monetize. And then stage 3 is scaling. So scaling means adding people to your team so that you can better focus on your clients, on delivering what your clients need. It's hard to do things as a one person operation. I did it for a very long time. I'm literally probably my first, let's see. So I've had Hype Media and Style Rebel Mama now for 12 years and like 2 months. And it wasn't until I would say my 7th year in that I started to scale by incorporating people, even subcontracting people to help me. But once you can do that, you're able to be more flexible with your time. You're able to be more focused, more intentional. And so you want to get to that view that this takes time, this takes work. There is no magic pill that just gets you to show up and everybody starts to like you, to know you, and to trust you. Unless, again, you have hundreds of thousands of dollars to get into people's news feeds through paid traffic in a really short amount of time. Now, I personally highly believe and suggest to running a paid traffic strategy when you are building your brand, but you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. Okay, so there are strategies that do that for you, but it does take time. And so you have to be ready to make a commitment to yourself, to your brand, to your values, to what you offer, to make this a long-term ride. And there will be some ups and downs, and lots of imposter syndrome. But if you follow those stages, you will get there. And you'll think back and be like, I never thought I could build a business like this. But that's how these businesses are built for us as solopreneurs, as entrepreneurs, and so that we can make a bigger impact to those that we really want to serve and know that we can serve. So I hope that that was helpful. If you have any questions, and you're just jumping on the replay, feel free to drop them. I am going to say bye for now. I will be back on here live next Thursday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And if there is a special topic, maybe something that you're really struggling with when it comes to social media, I'd love to hear from you. And maybe I'll just create a marketing session out of it, okay, and give you a shout out. So that's what I'm here for, to support you. Again, if you want to hop on a complimentary 30-minute call where I really review what you have going on, I give you some ideas on how to optimize what you have going on, just say the word splash. We will hop on a call and get to know each other, um, and I'll give you a really clear idea of how you can optimize and what's possible for you and your brand. I will see you guys next week. Bye.